Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today is Thursday, December 14th, 2023. It's been a blessing to create this community with all of you for almost 4 years, from corners all around the world, sharing Torah and music, sharing friendship, supporting each other, celebrating when there is gorgeous stuff happening every weekday, 948 weekdays in a row. Thank you, Penny. And so I hope that you and yours are safe and well. It's the seventh day of Channukah. I hope that there's light in your life. Let's see who's here. Lisa and Jacqueline, Shari, good morning. Am Yisrael Chai. Joy, Linda, Arlene, Boker Tov, happy Hanukkah to you. Jill and Sharon, April and Chana, Heather and Helen, Nancy, Carl. There's a lot of love happening here. Patricia and Ron, Fabrice, Natalie and Julianne, good morning. Jerry and Natalia, yes, Fabrice, the seventh day of Hanukkah. There's a lot in the air. Moshe Tzvi, good to see you, my love. Rachel, sending love to Minneapolis. Patricia and Deborah, Penny, thank you. It's broadcast 948. Nancy, good to see you. Let's take a breath, everybody. Sing a blessing for learning. Learn a little bit of Torah this seventh day of Hanukkah. Wish each other a beautiful, powerful, hopeful day. Here we go. Hi, Judy. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Lydia. Hi, Gabe. All right, friends. There is so much in the air. Here's what I want to point to. First of all, I appreciate, Linda, you reminding all of us. Came as a thunder to my brain when you just wrote it, that it is the 11th year since Sandy Hook. It's not where my brain was when I was about to start speaking, but it's important for us to ground ourselves in the work that we always do, not only since October 7th of this year, but every day. We, as a Jewish community born within Jewish values, are all about fighting for life. In this moment, we are fighting for our own. And it's important to remember that we are called to be a gift to the world. The reason why we fight for Am Yisrael Chai is because we stand for life. Am Yisrael, fight for Chaim. That's what we do. And when the world judges us in any other way, they are misperceiving. And we would do well to remember that we are called. V'nivrachu v'cha kol mishpachot adama was the promise, the challenge, the blessing to Abraham from God, which set us on our path, which was, and through us, all the nations of the world should be blessed. May the memories of those who 11 years ago lost their children, lost their teachers, to a nation that lost its innocence again, and to all the hundreds of thousands that have been needlessly lost in the American gun violence epidemic. Our focus might right now be very tribal. but it is important. It is pivotal for us to remember what we stand for in the world, and that what we are fighting for is even bigger than tribal survival. We are fighting for the right to be part of this world, to do our work on behalf of a world mid creation. We are called by God to be part of creating this world, and it is in desperate need in countless ways. So let's remember who we are. Despite it all, in the face of trauma, in the face of an assault on our very lives, let's remember that not only will we will live and fight for the lives of others. That's who we are. That's who we're called to be. It wasn't what I was planning on talking about, but I am grateful, grateful, Linda, for the reminder. As the rabbis say in the ancient world, "B'makom she'ein anashim hishtadel liot ish." In a place where people aren't being human, be human. Arlene, as you just said, be the light. We are called to be a blessing for others. And yes, in order to be a blessing for others, we have to be alive and fight for the dignity and strength of the Jewish world. But we do so because we know not only that we are human, but that our values call us forward to amplify humanity far beyond the boundaries of the tribe. We're going to continue that work. We promise. It's who we were called to be. It's who we are. Now, in the name of this moment, let me focus a little bit more narrowly. Grateful for the wider horizon and the reminder of so much that I am leaving on the side as I fight with all of you for this moment, for our people. This week we are reading Parshat Miketz, the story that begins with Pharaoh's dreams. Of course, that happens in the middle of this journey. Pharaoh's dreams happen about cows and sheaves of wheat, and Joseph is able to interpret them. But this moment, the dream, predicts what happens also in this parsha, which is 7 years of plenty and then 7 years of famine, not for one place, not for one nation, but for the whole world. This dream impacts not just the land of Egypt, but the land of Canaan. And so when the famine hits Jacob and his family, still in Canaan, the children of Israel, literally the children of Israel, before we are a tribe, we are a big family. And he looks at them. I want to tell you that the language here is fascinating. It's Genesis chapter 42, verses 1 and 2. Listen to the Hebrew and then the English. Vayar Yaakov ki yesh shever b'Mitzrayim. Jacob saw that there were food rations in Egypt. Vayomer Yaakov levanav. Jacob said to his sons, Lama titra'u. Now the translation typically is, why are you looking at one another? Titra'u. It's a passive thing. So it's a complicated language, and commentators don't know what it means when he says, why are you looking at one another? So let me just give you a few interpretations that just popped up on my screen. Rashi, France, 1040. Why are you making yourself conspicuous? Understood by a friend of mine, Rabbi Neil Levinger. Why do you cause yourself to appear in a certain way? Meaning, be careful not to make the descendants of the Ishmaelites or the descendants of Esav jealous or resentful if it looks like the Israelites have food. Now, I want to take it out of its context. One of the understandings of Jacob's question, why are you looking at yourselves, or why are you causing others to look at you, means, why are you being inconspicuous? Why make yourself more conspicuous when the world will look at you and judge you? Why wear signs of what we're going through publicly? Why wear identifying things Jewishly? Why put your Channukah in the windowsill where we traditionally are called to put it? They'll look at you. I have an answer to our ancestor Jacob. Because I'm proud of who I am, and you taught me to be like that, Abba. They will look at us, and they will say, despite it all, we have fire in our hearts. I know that's not the question that he asked in its context, but that's the answer I have to Rashi's interpretation of Jacob's question. Why are we causing anyone to look at us? Because we have to be loud, to scream for our sisters and brothers to be released from bondage. We have to be loud to defend our homeland when the world seems so willing to ignore the terrorist attack that killed more than 1,200 civilians and kidnapped more than 240 civilians, human beings, calling it a liberation movement when families are massacred? I'm not going to get quiet, and neither should you. We are going to show up, and there's a series of events that UJA is part of called Shine a Light. Today, there's a huge event happening in Westchester. There's an organization called Shine a Light that we're partnering with, doing events all over the country. We are shining a light on anti-Semitism. We don't get shy from it. I learned this lesson most of all from a friend of mine, a survivor of the Warsaw Ghetto and many camps. His name is Ben Stern. He is, thank God, still alive and telling his story. And he tells the story of when he moved to Skokie, Illinois. And he founded the Janusz Korczak Lodge of B'nai B'rith in Skokie. Janusz Korczak is the famous Polish educator, not a Jewish person, who was offered by the Nazis to leave the Warsaw Ghetto. They were just going to take his children, his students. And he chose to walk with them instead. And he died. He was murdered in the Shoah. When you go to Yad Vashem in Jerusalem, the Holocaust Memorial Museum, and you walk through the Children's Memorial, which is one of the most ravaging parts of the universe to walk through. When you come out, there's a statue memorializing the heroism of Janusz Korczak. So one of the understandings of Jacob's question is, why are you making people look at you? And the answer is, because I'm right here. And just like every human being, I'm worthy of human attention. Well, here's another interpretation. This is Ibn Ezra, 12th century in Spain. And he looks at the language, Lama Titra, why are you arguing with each other? This is a moment of great need. Why are you allowing political difference, denominationalism to get in the way? As I've said countless times, denominationalism and political difference are luxuries of peacetime. This is not that time. Don't waste our time. No one should get in the way of our unity. And I'm looking all over the world, trying not to be too political as I say it, but when you see people who are losing the cohesion of the Jewish people in this moment, they are doing something that is selfish. So Jacob, our ancestor, is saying, don't do that. This is a moment of scarcity. Show up as part of the whole and sacrifice your own individual needs a little bit, because the collective good is the mandate right now. I'll give you one more. Sforno, 15th century Italy. Sforno says that when Jacob asks his children, Lama titra'u, why are you looking at each other? What he's really asking is, stop wasting your time waiting for someone else to step forward first. You are all friends. You are all friends. It is time for you to show up as brothers and sisters. I've heard from countless friends in Israel how this moment of American Jewish solidarity with Israel has given them hope again that there is such a thing as Am Yisrael. It is so important, friends, because in the face of not just, I can't say it like that, after October 7th in Israel, to see an uptick of over 330% of anti-Semitic attacks in the United States, including yesterday in Oakland, California, right next to where I used to live in Berkeley. The big Channukah in Oakland next to Lake Merritt was taken off of its stand and thrown into the lake, and anti-Semitism was scrawled over the base. Horrific. At Harvard yesterday, one of the rabbis involved in lighting the Channukah was told that he was told by the dean of students at Harvard, yes, you can light candles, but when they're burned out, you have to take the Channukah and put it away because we are afraid something will happen to it. It's inhuman. Would that ever happen to a Christmas tree? Take your Christmas tree away because we're afraid that someone will come and vandalize it? No. Anyone who would vandalize a Christmas tree would be immediately held accountable. Would you say in any other sector that the persecution of a group is the group's responsibility to respond to? No. If there were, God forbid, anti-black racist chants in public, you know how loudly we would be involved in condemning them. The entire world would be involved in condemning them. If there were attacks on LGBTQ human beings, you know that we would immediately show up. The world would immediately show up. And so, in this moment, for the Jewish community to be told by anyone that our safety is only our responsibility is an abdication of humanity, of human values, of societal good. Wherever you have the chance, friends, to be lighting candles, whether it be with our friend Catherine in Australia or any of us where we find ourselves, we light loud, we light proud, we sing with all of our hearts, and we fight for the dignity of the Jewish community. Our ancestor Jacob looked at his children in a moment of dire need and said, Lama titra'u. What does that mean? Well, I don't know what it means, but I do know that you and I are not supposed to wait for one of us to move forward first. We are supposed to step forward and never to do so in a way that intentionally harms anybody, but also never to do so without remembering that the entire Jewish world requires the entire Jewish world. And anti-Semitism is not only a Jewish problem. Anti-Semitism is a human problem. Anti-Semitism is always the canary in the coal mine. If Jews are targeted, someone else is immediately going to follow as a group that is vulnerable and made vulnerable. And so it is so important, friends, for you and for me to step forward and to not wait for someone else to be the one to step forward. Just like Nachshon, our ancestor, standing at the lip of the Red Sea, had to take that first step. While everyone else wondered where the miracle was going to come from, he said, we have to be the miracle. There is no other choice, friends. With anti-Semitism on the rise here and Israel under threat, we are reminded in a defensive posture that we are one. Friends, let's remember that if we are one in a threatened way, we are also one in a proactive way. Where is there a candle lighting near you tonight for the last night of Channukah? Where? Are you going to be there? Where is your Chanukiah? And to our non-Jewish friends who are part of our community and have been the entire 4 years we've been broadcasting this every day, I invite you to be part of a Chanukiah lighting. We love you. We need you. This is not a moment where vulnerability is a Jewish monopoly. No, humanity is under threat. And so I offer you a teaching for the 7th day of Channukah that we're in right now. Last night, I sat looking at my family's Chanukiot. It is so inspiring to sit in that light. And I want to share with you that I looked at these 7 candles last night. We're in the 7th day of Channukah right now. How beautiful that image, Catherine. Thank you for sharing it. That the Chanukiah lighting in your community in Australia is at the Buddhist Temple Interfaith Garden. That's beautiful. All right, so I was looking at my Chanukiah last night, and there are 7 candles lit. The number 7 for Jews is so symbolic. It holds all of creation. The world was created in 7 days. Fullness. I felt fullness. The possibility that the world could be created. And then I noticed, because it's an 8-branch Chanukiah, as they all are, there's still one missing. Our family. 33 nations have citizens still held hostage in Gaza. 137 human beings are still hostage in Gaza. Children, grandparents, parents, young women. There's still one missing. You can have the hint of fullness and remember that it's not all there yet. And so I say from the depths of my soul with all of you, bring them home now. Bring them home now. I close my eyes and I pray, asking for your Amen. God, bring them home now. The light is so beautiful on Channukah. Our eyes are so full of tears at the same time. We are ready for fullness again, so that we can be a blessing to the world. We're not going to sit and wait for someone else, and we're not going to be shy about our Jewish identity in public. We are going to show up as human beings fighting for life, including on the 11th anniversary of the Sandy Hook massacre, not forgetting to call out for life for all. Because violence is blasphemy. Violence against a human being, any human being, is blasphemy. And I am required to say at the same time that violence against me is blasphemy. We are called to be part of a sacred message that includes all of God's children, every image of God, every innocent civilian put in harm's way by those who would do violence. Domestic terrorists with unfettered access to guns in the United States, international terrorists who would mow down families in their homes in the south of Israel. We are called to not shine any less brightly as we struggle for our own lives. So I know you join me in all of these intentions, friends. I hope there's a cohesive theme that brings us all together. And if I could say it in a nutshell, it is we have one night left to Channukah. Don't let the light go out, ever. We'll talk about the last day of Channukah tomorrow. But for now, show up. Shine bright. Believe in the possibilities of tomorrow. Keep hope. Keep hope. So, see this flag? It's on your screen. Instagram, Facebook, it's on your screen. Sing with me. Sing with me. Kol od balevav pnima Nefesh Yehudi Homiya Ulfatei Mizrach Kadima Ayin Letzion Sophia Od lo avda tikvateinu Hatikva bat shnot alpayim Liot am chofshi be'artzeinu Eretz Tzion v'Yerushalayim Liot am chofshi be'artzeinu Eretz Tzion v'Yerushalayim. Bless you, friends. Happy Chanukah. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow. Take care.